and I was about to give you guys a tour, and then I ran out of glue. And then my next section, which I think I'm most excited for, and I think that I have riddled my way through the plot twist, I think. Good morning, friends. Excuse my appearance. I did put on a little makeup for you, but my hair is a little crazy. It is a dreary, cloudy day outside. I have a dark academic playlist on the TV already. I've made myself what do you call this? The foam coffee? I don't know, it's early. Today is the day that I'm doing the journaling situation for my new work in progress. For whatever reason, this dark academic story that I've had in my journal since October 2020 randomly has bubbled up out of my subconscious again. And the muse has my ear and she is not letting go. So I've been able to really flow with that one. I've got an outline going. I've got a lot of inspiration. So all that being said, I'm going to take this dreary, cloudy day to get that journal all set up because it's just going to be so fun, and it's so rare that you get to do these types of things because you really only get to do them at the start of a new story. So I did run to Books A Million a couple days ago now, and I looked at their journal section. So the one that I landed on was this one, and this is like a leather journal from Pen to Paper Writing Supplies. Anyway, it just has this little snail on the cover. I love this like raw edge detail right here, and then the little snail itself is so stinking cute. And then it does have white pages. I was hoping for like more like craft paper colored pages, or black pages would have been really cool. Some black pages left over from when I used to do the giant like 12 by 12 inch scrapbooks that I don't do anymore just because they're so huge, they take up so much space. I have a whole bunch of black paper left over, so I'm thinking I'm literally just gonna glue over some of the white pages. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, I think I have a rough idea of how I'm going to break up the sections. So I just looked at the journal, and I have 6 sections of these. What do you even call these? Like when they put a small section of pages together. So I came up with an idea for each of the sections that I think will work. And then I kind of divided up my photos to fit those sections. So my issue is that I want it to look so nice because I'm kind of a perfectionist. I am. So I kind of want to go to the printer and just like print a lot of the things out instead of just writing them in, because I know it will look better if I type it up and print it, but like that's so much more work. I'm just kind of sitting here indecisively. So let's just roll the next clip. All right, it is time for another update. It's like 2 p.m. So I've been at this for a little while. I was also doing some other like YouTube video things. I have the first 3 sections done. So the first section is all like general inspiration. This would be where you would put in like random quotes and things, and I'll give you guys you know, a tiny little sneak peek of some of these pages because I am really excited about some of them. I have quite a few blank pages, which is good because I know I'm obviously going to be only adding to this as the story kind of develops, and there's still whole sections that I know I'm going to be writing about that I haven't gone on Pinterest and found any inspo images for yet. So I am leaving a lot of blank space purposefully. Then the next section, the next 16 pages, are my characters, which I'm pretty excited about. So I think each character that's important, that's a main character, they are gonna get at least a 2-page spread, like 2 facing pages. I have yet to create her on Artbreeder. I don't know exactly, like I can picture her, I know what she looks like, but I'm still figuring out how to use Artbreeder. And then my next section, which I think I'm most excited for and have the most printouts for, is the academy. So the main setting of the story takes place in sort of a mansion turned academy. So think like a gothic mansion style house, like super bougie, very lavish. Like here's like an indoor pool area. These photos are literally just from Pinterest, so I don't even know where they're from. Some of them actually kind of look AI generated. Some of them do look like an actual photograph of a real place. I don't know, like this would be like the courtyard inside, like in the center of the house. It would all kind of circle around this little courtyard area with like a pond and stuff. I just love the architecture. There's gonna be a lot of stained glass. It's just gonna be what you expect when you think of dark academia. This was actually the first inspiration image that I found on Pinterest, which looks like a home in, I don't know, somewhere in the UK. It reminds me of a sweater I used to have, like a ribbed gray sweater, kind of like the couch actually, like that like ribbed gray material. And I just thought, oh my gosh, it looks so cozy. The setting has evolved from that into the previous ones that I showed you. So we also have some, which I don't think you can see. I'm not going to print on that clear sticker paper anymore because you can't actually see what these look like. I'm going to get creating the next little spread. This is going to take up a lot of pages, but it's kind of the meat and potatoes of the story because so much of the story takes place in this big mansion. So I'm excited. Hello friends, it's time for an update. I think it's been possibly a couple of days since I've actually sat down and filmed anything. So we're just kind of jotting things down on some sticky notes, which I have put here, and then I have some down there as well. And I think that I have riddled my way through the plot twist. I think. Well, I don't know. But I've got a lot of plot that I just kind of scribbled down. So I'm going to try to figure out how to put it all together. My outline is about 5,400 words. And I think I'm at a point where I think if I type up those notes on the sticky notes that I was just writing down feverishly, if I type those up and kind of fit them in a logical sense into what I already have, because I already had some plot twists written down. If I can string them all together and find a way to connect them, I may have the actual, like the full plot done. And then I will just have to kind of fill in the gaps and kind of figure out how to get from one scene to the next. I've hammered out some details, come up with the name. The Academy didn't have a name until like a few hours ago. I was literally just calling it the Academy. I kind of talked my way. I listened to an old voice note and then I talked my way through what I think is going to be like the general plot of what happens. I don't exactly know the ending yet. I think that's still a bit of a mystery. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? I haven't hammered that down too specifically yet, but I'm getting there and I'm very excited. So let's see how much I can write before I feel like I've hit a wall.
Up at the sky of dark water. You don't have to tell me. We can watch it together. Flies swarmed the air in dark, buzzing clouds. The flies have a smell that's almost sweet. Truly wanted. Well, Belle? Stacy says. Can you come over or not? Grandmama playing solitaire nearby.
Good morning. It is the next day, and I was about to give you guys a tour of the journal. And then I ran out of glue. So we're gonna run into town because I'm not gonna take the time to tape every single one of these images into the journal. I just think it would take too long to like tape all 4 corners because I have to have the corners lay flat. I honestly probably just should have printed on that sticker paper for everything because it annoys me when the corners come up. The sun is shining, but it's a little chilly. I've got my jacket on and I've got to run to Michael's to get a glue stick and then maybe some stickers. I thought that would be the only other thing that would make the journal kind of pop and even like be even more unique is if I could find some sort of like spooky, dark academic type of stickers without them being cheesy Halloween like cauldrons and broomsticks and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go to Michael's and see what they have.
Don't leave me high and dry. Baby, you get me out there fine. You're gentle and wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you get me midnight. You whip up
I made it back home. Let's do a little haul. I originally had just a normal glue stick in my hand, but the wall of glue stick options was even more extensive than what I thought that it would be. So I got 2 different things, plus some other random exciting things that were kind of impulsive, but I think will make the journal look really cool. First is a glue pen, which I feel like I've maybe seen before, but I've never used one. This is the chisel tip one, and then you can like paint the glue on? I don't know, but I'm into crafts, so this kind of thing gets me kind of excited. And then I have been wanting to try these as well. I've used little runners like this before for whiteout, like whiteout tape. This is like literally the same mechanism, but it's clear double-sided adhesive tape. So if for some reason I don't like this or this is messy, then we have this as an option. Okay, stickers was kind of a bust. They didn't have anything Halloween anymore, which I get because it's kind of a seasonal thing. I was hoping that they would still have 1 or 2 things to pick from. They did not. However, my story does have not an astrological plot line at all, but there are going to be some references to like celestial bodies. Not astrology, but like the stars in the universe and that kind of thing. So anyway, I saw these. You're not going to be able to see them at all. Here, I'll put a piece of mail behind it so maybe you can kind of see. Just little gold foil constellations, which I thought would just be a very small little sparkle to add to some of the pages. And then the thing that was definitely the impulse, but I think is going to make it look really cool. So you know how I was saying at the beginning of the video that I wish the notebook, the journal, had like black pages or like craft paper colored pages instead of white pages. So I went down, I was looking for more stickers, but I ended up down the aisle that sells ink, and I found these distress ink pads, these little ink pads. There's antique linen, vintage photo, walnut stain, and black soot. And then I went ahead and got some applicators, little mini ink blending tools. A lot of the pages I've already done, like I've already put the photos in, so I don't know if it's gonna look weird to just distress some of the pages, but I want to experiment. I should have probably done this a little bit earlier, but anyway, I'm still excited. So let's see how it goes. And then I swear I'm gonna give you a tour. I have a feeling this is gonna be messy. Okay, ladies and gents, it is finally time that I took you guys through this. You could obviously completely change this around to fit whatever kind of genre or story it is that you're writing. I was just playing around with those distress ink, like little ink pad things that I got. I think I got some that are quite dried out, but hopefully they look kind of distressed. I feel like you can see it on the sides now, and completely, like before they were like completely white. So I feel like you can see some of the distressing now, and it kind of looks old. I like the idea of it kind of looking like the arcane texts that they would be studying from, and like journals and things that would be in the library for them to study. I liked the idea of this kind of looking like one of those textbooks, if that makes any sense. That was the vibe I was going for. So I'm gonna give you an overhead shot and then give you a little tour. All right, so we open up to a table of contents, which will just help me navigate it a little bit easier because I've already found myself like flipping through and being like, wait, where did I put that? Like, I know I have a picture of that somewhere. I'm starting out with general inspiration, then doing character inspiration. The Academy itself, this obviously could totally change to fit whatever genre of story you might be writing. Then miscellaneous is going to cover everything from like mock covers that I love to make, playlists that I listen to while I'm writing, or like music that the characters are supposed to be listening to. So this is very general, and then a final section on notes. Then we have the first section, which is just general inspiration. Then we have the epigraph for the book itself. I was reading this last week, I think it was. Finished it just here recently, and this is such a great quote. That's like the first page that a reader would flip to after like the copyright and the title page and stuff, is there would be a quote. A lot of books start that way. Then we have, let me scoot over a little bit, Word Nectar. So this is a page that I made, and you can see I was kind of experimenting with those distress inks. I think I was using the darker colors actually. This is full of inspirational quotes. You can call it whatever you want, so they all kind of relate somehow to the book, the characters. These are just random things that I have found on Pinterest and been saving on that Pinterest board. Then we have some animals that are going to be popping up, I think, in the novel at some point. Not sure how important or otherwise they might be, but animals are going to be kind of a recurring theme, I guess you could say. Also, something else that's important is the sketchbook of our main character. It's almost like a part of her personality, more than just for like random doodles. Then blank pages, obviously, for anything that I might want to fill in with later. Next section is the characters. Obviously, character inspiration is one of the most fun things. I love it so much. And so this is going to be my main character, and just some of the photos that kind of give you an idea or a vibe of who she is. This, I didn't make myself on Artbreeder. I don't know what's going on with it. It really isn't as, I don't have as much control as what I thought I would, I guess. Anyway, this is one that I think somebody had already created that pretty much matches the way that I view her. And then I forget her name, but I think this is an actress. Then we have the professor. I am still working on his name. I have a couple of options that I'm pretty not decided on, but kind of like going between. I haven't fully decided yet. We have kind of him and our main character. I don't know if this is like a real anime. I don't know if this is some sort of like fan art for something. I don't know. Obviously he's AI generated. This is like a Keanu Reeves John Wick fan art, I think, or maybe it's from a comic book. What I do a lot of times on Pinterest is I find one image that I really like. I think this was maybe one of the first ones that came up. I literally just searched like male with long dark hair character inspiration or character art, something like that. And then if you click on one that you like and you scroll down on Pinterest, it will give you related pins. And then I think that's how a lot of the other stuff was coming up too. But anyway, he is one of the main characters in the story. Then we have our main character's mom. I'm not totally sure exactly yet what's happening with her. And so we see a lot of blank space. There's not any notes here yet, but you get the vibe. Then we have some side characters who are actually going to have, at least this girl over here, Redhead. I literally am calling her Redhead right now in the outline. She's going to have a pretty cool character arc. I don't exactly know the details yet, but I feel it because she kept popping up and I'm like, why? Because she just seems like the Regina George of the group. Like, she just seems kind of like the Queen Bee HBIC type. Now we have another very fun part. The Academy does have a name. I'm going to blur it out right now. It's, you know, a very unique name. It could end up being like the title possibly. I don't think it will, but I'm gonna keep it secret for now. Let's enter the mansion. So it's a mansion turned academy. This was the original image. I told you guys this earlier, that just has a very subtle Gothic sort of vibe to it. However, it has evolved from there quite a bit. And so this is now the new exterior, a lot more Gothic. We've got some gorgeous lancet windows, lots of stained glass. Right now it's about 3 stories tall. I think that's all I need. We'll see some floor plans here in a minute so you guys can get kind of a better idea. But yeah, these are just, I think, AI generated, and I just found them on Pinterest. Very kind of spooky, overcast, somewhere in the UK. Then we have some interiors. Again, these are just all from Pinterest, I think. So this one looks AI generated. These look real to me. So I think these are actual, and there's actually different angles of this one online. So I think this is an actual place, but this is like the central courtyard. We have the inside of the dorms, and then a gorgeous indoor pool with like a stained glass ceiling. Again, very grand, very ornate. And then a library, of course, because you can't have a dark academic novel where a library is not featured pretty prominently, in my opinion. Then there is going to be a secret underground nightclub where you can get absinthe and the students can unwind, you know, after a really long day of studying these like arcane texts. Then the solarium, this is one of my favorite things, but it's essentially a like greenhouse turned cafe. There is like a main dining hall where students and staff can eat like a proper meal, but this would be like a quick bite little cafe slash coffee shop. Then the forest behind the mansion is going to play quite a big role. Lots of scenes out in the forest for various reasons. Still need to fill in some of this, but we have the first floor, which is like the main courtyard area, the library, classrooms, a gym and a pool, because, you know, they live here. So like typically at a university, you would have all those things. Maybe not a pool and a sauna, but like, you know, you'd have a gym. I called this the ballroom. It's kind of like the main dining hall, and you'd have a very grand foyer. Second floor, dorms, and the second level of the library. Third floor, offices of the professors, and then the staff rooms, and then the solarium and the greenhouse. So this is kind of the interior of the dorms. Again, just very Gothic, very ornate, very money, like very, very wealthy. You can tell that it's like an old money house for sure. And then the main dining hall is going to be very different than what you probably pictured, like a main dining hall at a university. It's going to be like one big long table, because there's not actually that many students that go here. It's extremely exclusive. So it's not a huge dining hall. I don't think there's ever going to be a scene in the kitchen, but I saw this photo and couldn't help but print it out. So that's kind of how I imagine the kitchen. And then we have the greenhouse, more stained glass, marble statues. This is where a lot of like the herbs and stuff could be grown, because the academy is very isolated. Then a miscellaneous section. So again, this is like mock covers, playlists. It is blank. It is blank right now. Then we have some mock covers. This one, it features let me see if I can just cover up the title. This one features an old oil painting called, what's it called? The Temptation of Adam, which this one's a little bit too biblical, but it was just my first iteration. It was just kind of the first one that I came up with. I'll show you some more. This is one of my favorites right now. It just uses an image of a woman. I think it's an AI generated image that you saw earlier in one of the spreads. And then I made a little moth on her mouth. You probably can't tell, it's too dark, because that kind of, there's like a scene that I think might relate to that. I don't know yet. It kind of faintly reminds me of the Vita Nostra cover, which I really love. And then lots of blank pages, and then a notes section in the back. And then we have the original couple pages. I just folded it over. The original little outline from October 2020 that will stay back there because it has changed quite a bit. That is all I have for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that little tour. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got some inspiration, and I will see you in my next video.